Hey everybody, and welcome to this review of Volkswagen ID.5, the German electric vehicle. Today in this video I will make a full review of this amazing car. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'll show you multiple features like interior, price and battery. So don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe in the channel. The Volkswagen ID.5 is an electric family SUV with sleek and sporty coupe-style looks. It's pretty smooth to drive thanks to its electric power, but it feels cheap in places and isn't quite as practical as an ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.5 is an electric SUV with a coupe-style roofline. It shares its underpinnings with the Volkswagen ID.4, but the sleek looks are designed to appeal to more fashion-conscious customers who will happily pay a premium to stand out from the crowd with a more eye-catching car. Interior on a car as expensive as this, disappointing. The ID.5's interior is a near-carbon copy of the ID.4, itself pretty close to the ID.3. And the fact is, none of the three cars are a particularly lovely place to sit. You get a clean, uncluttered dashboard with precious few physical controls, just a gear selector mounted on the instrument pod. For everything else you have a 12 inches infotainment touchscreen and a few touch-sensitive switches. You'll struggle to differentiate the Volkswagen ID.5's cabin from the ID.4's, which means it's a bit bland, too reliant on technology, and the interior finish isn't as good as you'd expect for a car of this price. Still, it's not like rivals are the last word in plush interiors. Neither the Ford Mustang Mach-E or Tesla Model Y are particularly upmarket inside. Front interior dashboard. It's easy to get comfortable inside the Volkswagen ID.5, with plenty of movement in the seats and a generous amount of reach adjustment for the steering wheel. You don't sit as high as you might expect for an SUV, something to consider if you're looking for a Range Rover-like seating position. But the little drop-down armrests are a neat touch. Visibility is perfectly acceptable. Okay, you can probably see better out of the back of a Volkswagen ID.4. But the smaller rear window doesn't obscure your view as much as you might expect. It's not like the ID.5 is short on technology to help you with reversing. Either, it'll do it itself in many situations, if you don't want to. Much like many recent Volkswagen Group models, the ID.5 will take a bit of getting used to when it comes to performing simple tasks. The touch-sensitive controls on the steering wheel aren't particularly intuitive to use and are easily triggered while you're driving. While whoever thought that sliding touch-sensitive climate controls were a good option should be sacked immediately. There's a modular storage bin in the center and two big cup holders, and that's really where the clever stuff ends. The overriding impression is that it's rather dark and dingy, a problem exacerbated in UK cars which so far can only be specified with monochrome interiors instead of the colored dash tops of the vehicles pictured here. Even with the leather dash, material quality is unimpressive, with that center cubby in particular feeling hollow and sharp round the edges. It's not befitting of a car of this price and lacks the sort of reassuring solidity VW's reputation would lead you to expect. It's especially a shame when you consider how well this car's rivals do things. Even the mechanically identical Skoda Enyaq makes better use of interesting materials to feel airier and more premium. While the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is a masterclass in how to preserve function while being an interesting place to sit. Not that the ID.5's controls are especially functional. Despite new software for the infotainment screen, it's still particularly clunky when performing certain basic functions, like switching between drive modes or adjusting the climate control. At least it's spacious. Rear passenger space is virtually unchanged from the ID.4, so there's space for 4 adults. And the boot's actually slightly larger in terms of literage. Engine. You can have your Volkswagen ID.5 with 172 bhp, 201 bhp or 295 bhp. If you spend most of your time driving around town, the entry-level 172 bhp motor will be all you need, but it quickly runs out of pace if you try to make rapid progress. We recommend the mid-spec 201 bhp Pro performance. Its official 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 8.4 seconds is brisk enough for most situations, but lacks the instant punch you get from the Kia EV6 RWD or the Tesla Model Y long range. The range-topping GTX has 2 electric motors, giving it more power and 4-wheel drive. Acceleration off the line is swift, and it feels every bit as quick as the 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 6.3 seconds would suggest. The Model Y performance and the Volvo C40 Recharge would leave this performance-focused model for dead in a straight line, though. All versions of the ID.5 have a 77 kWh battery, and the Pro and Pro Performance an identical range of 327 miles. The GTX's range is shorter, 314 miles, because of the weight penalty of having 4-driven wheels. Handling. The ID.5, even in GTX form, isn't a particularly engaging car to drive, but it is composed and capable by class standards. The steering, for example, is progressive as you begin to turn into a corner, and it's easy to judge where the nose is heading. It weights up a bit too much past a quarter of a turn, but it won't strain your arms in a tight car park. There's also plenty of grip, and body movements are far better controlled than in the Mustang Mach-E and the Model Y, that makes driving the ID.5 a calmer, more harmonious experience. Charging times. A rapid charge can add 200 miles of range in just half an hour, meaning you won't have to waste too much time charging your new Volkswagen ID.5. Volkswagen ID.5 Review 2022 Side Profile Charging. That rapid charging time is thanks to the Volkswagen ID.5's 135 kW charging capability, which requires plugging it into a suitable charger. While the fastest chargers are convenient, they can be expensive. You'll pay around 70p per kWh for the quickest, which means a charge from 10% to 80% could cost more than £30. To get the best from your electric car, we'd recommend plugging it in at home. A 7 kW home charger will fully charge the Volkswagen ID.5 in around 12 hours at a cost of around £22. You can use a standard 3-pin socket to charge the Volkswagen ID.5, but it's probably best to save this for emergencies. A full charge this way will take a lengthy 36 hours. Handling. The Volkswagen ID.5 comes with a comprehensive list of standard kit, and can only be had with a large 77 kWh battery, which pushes up the price of the base car beyond those of an entry-level Audi Q4 e-tron Sportback, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Kia EV6 and Volvo C40 Recharge. In other words, this is not a cheap coupe SUV. The Tesla Model Y long range is even more expensive, but that car is equally well equipped and delivers much more impressive performance. Thankfully, the ID.5 is likely to hold its value well, so you should be able to find an attractive leasing or PCP deal. Like all electric cars, it will be very cheap to run as a company car. All models can be charged at up to 135 kW, meaning that a 5 to 80% top-up will take around half an hour. That sounds rather impressive, until you consider that the cheaper EV6 can charge at up to 235 kW and the Model Y at up to 250 kW. The Model Y also allows you to use the excellent Tesla supercharger network. Prices of the VW ID.5 start at €47,935 USD, 50,416 in Germany, and 459,000 Norwegian krone USD, 46,178 in Norway. The base VW ID.5 GTX costs €56,455 USD, 59,377 and 508,000 Norwegian krone USD, 51,107 in these countries, respectively. In the end, don't forget to like the video and make sure to join us in our channel and see next video, dude.
Volkswagen.